Oh hello, this is Tak Chung from Walk with Tak. Welcome to my YouTube channel. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe and share. Please feel free to write to me at walkwithtak@gmail.com if you have any question regarding to this video or any other videos that I have posted in the past. If you have any videos that you would like me to make, please let me know. I'm looking forward to hearing from you. This video is a request from a viewer, and so you know that if you ask me to make videos, I am welcome to these questions and I will make one accordingly. Both my wife and I love kimchi, and we particularly like the kind of kimchi that make with daikon radish. Now this is rather unusual as compared to the kimchi that make with Napa cabbage. So we decided that we're going to make it our own. And the benefit is that making your own kimchi is you can adjust the flavor exactly how you like it. So recently a viewer wrote to me, he said, have you ever made kimchi fried rice? And the answer is that no, I have never done that before. But it was such a great question, so I decided I'm going to try to make kimchi fried rice. Now, of course, as you know, that I do not follow recipes. So for me, this is a good example of demonstrate how to use a template. The idea of the template is to follow the basic step, and then I make modification accordingly to adjust to the ingredients that I'm going to use. So consequently, I can make simple substitutions that can lead me to create many different diversity using a familiar template. I have a template that I use for making fried rice, and I use this template for make almost infinite varieties of fried rice, and consequently, I know that I can make simple substitutions. Instead of using the ingredients that I normally use, I'm going to substitute it with daikon cabbage. According to my template is that I need to cut the ingredients into the size that are suitable for the fried rice. So the first thing I do is that I need to do is to modify the size of the kimchi. They're much larger than it would fit into a fried rice. And the next decision that I need to make is decide how much that I want to use in a fried rice. And of course, I do not want to use too much. I want to just use enough to give me the flavor that I want. And for this fried rice, I'm going to also add some other ingredients to it. However, choosing the right amount is pretty much up to your personal preference. And I'm sure that after I make this one, I will decide whether I have enough or not. So next time, I will make modification accordingly. The first one is some chopped scallions, which I already have available in my advanced prepping. The next one is some baby color bell pepper. This, I'm going to cut it up just before I make the fried rice. I choose them not only because they will add great flavor to the fried rice, but they also add visual appeal. I'm going to cook this fried rice in my Cuisinart 14-inch stainless steel wok. I'm going to start out with about 2 tablespoons of canola oil, and I will heat up the wok and until the oil starts to smoke gently. And this is the wok that's being seasoned to create a non-stick cooked surface. And this is my method for spot seasoning. To cook this fried rice, this step is essential to prevent either the egg or the rice to stick to the surface of the wok. In some other dishes, it is not as crucial. And my wife loves egg in fried rice, so because of this reason, I'm going to use quite a few eggs. These other eggs were given to me by our neighbor, and his grandson raised chicken. And so it is a nice farm-raised egg. Now you can add as number of eggs that you would like. And some people like a few eggs and some people like more eggs. And there's also different approach how you're going to cook the egg. In this case, I'm going to crack the egg directly into the wok. And this actually will fry the egg differently in the sense of that the egg yolk and the egg white will fry separately. I'm still going to scramble it. However, using this method, the flavor of the egg actually, in my mind, is better. It provides more of a distinction between the egg white and the egg yolk. In some respect, they have much greater flavor and texture. And I decided I'm going to season the egg with my Walk with Tak basic seasoning mix. This seasoning mix is designed to enhance the natural flavor of the food ingredients, and it works particularly well with eggs. And when you do this, it gives the egg a nice savory flavor. You can use as much or as little that you want. It is a great substitute for salt. In addition, in using this seasoning mix for cooking with eggs, it can be used for almost any type of stir-fry dishes that you would like. It also makes a great soup as well. And the flexibility of this seasoning mix lead me to call it the basic seasoning mix. Okay, now the egg is all ready. The next step is that I'm going to add the rice. The rice I'm going to use is basmati rice. This is a rice that comes from India and Pakistan. It's a rice with very long grain. And the nice thing about this rice is that the kernels are very separate and distinct from each other. They don't stick together as in the case with short grain rice. And it is better even than long grain rice in terms of their distinct kernel characteristics. The end result is that they are really excellent for making fried rice. Before I discovered this tool for making fried rice, I used to use the wok spatula to pick up the rice. Unfortunately, the wok spatula is not very good in doing such a job. The end result is that I often have rice spill all over the kitchen counter as well on top of the stove and making quite a big mess. Once the rice has been broken up, I switch to my wok spatula. This is more convenient in mixing everything together. A wok spatula is really essential for making a fried rice. A good wok spatula makes it much easier to stir and mix the rice. Okay, the next step is that I'm going to add the daikon kimchi to the rice. And before I add the daikon kimchi, I try to remove as much fluid as possible that comes with the kimchi because I do not want the fried rice to become too soggy. Even though I have never made kimchi fried rice before, I do not need a recipe. The reason is that because of the familiarity of the template that I use, I pretty much expect how the outcome is going to be like. And this is the advantage of using template rather than following a recipe, because this way I can predict what the flavor is going to be like. And next, I'm going to add a mixture of minced garlic and ginger. Now, adding garlic and ginger at different point of the stir frying or cooking plays a very important role of how their flavor is going to be like. If you add early, you will not taste their flavor as much as you add later. Since my wife really enjoys ginger and garlic, I add it rather late. And then next, I add some colored bell pepper. Now, the colored bell pepper is going to add at this point because I do not want them cooked too much. I want to maintain their crispy texture. This will give them a nice flavor and also will enhance the differences in texture of different ingredients in the fried rice. At this point, I'm going to do a quick taste test and decide whether this is the flavor that I want. To me, this is one of the most important part of cooking because you can make adjustment accordingly. I decided I'm going to add a little bit more salt. This is a good demonstration of flavor chasing. Each time when you cook, you should always test what you cook as you are doing the cooking process. And the wonderful thing about stir frying is that you can make adjustments along the way, and this is something very simple and straightforward to do. Okay, now I decided the flavor is about right. And finally, I'm going to add the chopped scallion to the dish. The chopped scallions serve two purposes. One is that it will add a nice onion flavor to the dish. But furthermore, it also creates a color contrast with other ingredients in the dish. It makes the dish more appealing. Okay, the dish is done. And the total cook time is a little bit over 7 minutes. Now this is truly what home cooking to me the most pleasurable part is the ability to cook something spontaneously through intuition as well as through your past experience. And this is what makes template-based cooking such a good cooking technique for home cooking. In this case, you can cook almost whatever you like that comes to your mind. Like in this case with the kimchi fried rice, the modification to the template is actually very small. But as you can see that the result could be quite significant because the kimchi will add a distinct flavor to the fried rice. Now in this case, I use the daikon kimchi, but the most common form of kimchi is made with Napa cabbage. I'm sure it will also work with Napa cabbage. In this case, again, you just need to make modifications. And one thing I will do with the Napa cabbage is to make sure that I remove as much fluid from the Napa cabbage and then cut it to the size that will be suitable in mixing with other ingredients in the fried rice. Okay, the final step in completing this fried rice is that I'm going to garnish it with some scallions. The fresh scallions always add great flavor to almost any dish that you cook, and I really enjoy that a great deal. These scallions are cut into strips, and they have excellent shelf life. Usually they will last up to 2 weeks, as compared to the scallions that are chopped into small pieces. Okay, so the dish is done. How do I like it? A great deal. I think the garlic and then the ginger together with the daikon cabbage add a very distinct flavor to the fried rice. It has a great savory flavor because of the addition of the basic seasoning mix. And both of us enjoy this very much. I think we're going to do it again. Okay, I post a video each day to help you to make home cooking as part of your daily routine so you can avoid eating fast and ultra-processed food, because home cooking now can become a viable alternative. So if you'd like to learn more about my fast cooking system, please subscribe to this YouTube channel. So keep on cooking. I will see you tomorrow.